So welcome to Philadelphia Walks PTSD. My name is Sharon Cole, or Sharon, or Cole, whatever you want to refer to me as. No big deal, in a good way. Don't care. Rat, pig, horse, cow, hippo, rhino, dinosaur, lizard. Um, doesn't matter. I've been called everything under the sun because of a very bizarre experience. And I don't know exactly what they mean to the people who have uttered these words, either very directly by pointing at me and saying, "Look at the dog," while talking to their kids, and no dog is around because it was blizzarding, snowing outside. And I was the only one on a whole intersection corner of a residential portion um, of this city en route to pick up a dog to walk, but there was no other dog around. But these people were actually willing, as if they were actors, street theater perpetrators, or what have you, to actually keep pointing. And that actually anchored into my brain and became a very serious problem. For a good 2.5 years, I had to untangle this sort of planted, seeded in idea that people saw me as a dog. In fact, I had one client actually point at his dog and look at me and say, "Good girl, no barking, no barking, good girl, no barking." Can you imagine if someone treated you like that? So that's why I'm here for my one video each day, 365-day campaign, raising money campaign for a life robbed, stolen, raped, tortured through psychological means, physical means, human trafficked through dog walking, a job that was supposed to be temporary. I had been planning a move. I had a whole strategy plan to get out to the Pacific Northwest and potentially work for, say, a university, which could then pay for me to go on for an MFA. This is the only route I would know as a person. So with that said, I will go through my usual spiel really quick and then kind of get to the bones of it. I was made to believe I'd be murdered in my apartment the fourth Monday of January 2011. It was incredibly bad what happened. The cowards hid behind a whole orchestrated setup, if you will, so I couldn't really point to one person or figure out the source of this. The police would sort of act like they were on the Andy Griffith show, and I was shaking, trembling, convulsing. And if that weren't enough for these buffoons, these jackasses and losers in Philadelphia, the games commenced after that. And it's like Wacky Wednesday or the world being turned upside down. So, and whenever you reach out, or whenever I would reach out to people who I thought would be supportive or be like, "Oh my God, that's totally crazy, I wonder what it was," the exact opposite response from people. Which is interesting because I was someone who was very thoughtful and caring and would want good things for people and would try my best to support others should something bad happen. Within my, education or limited means or what have you, these people, it was like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I had met some people leading up to 2011 who I was happy with. I was running, I was participating in volunteer groups, dragon boat racing, and I thought I met like a few different groups or little turtles that popped up of people who seemed healthy and good. And I felt like I had filled my little social network, but it turns out that some of these people might have woven themselves into my life purposely on my pursuit of finding a new network of friends or just a healthy network of friends. And those people turned out to be deadbeats and stupid, for lack of a better way to describe them. But I do know that I do suffer PTSD very badly. When this thing kicked off, I don't know what to say. The whole first 2 months, technically the whole first year, 2011, because this thing kept going on and on and on, and scenarios were played out here in the city like nobody's business. I don't know what kind of target I wound up with on my back, but it gets into the supernatural, surreal world of, did someone create like almost a snuff film movie or like a movie secretly? And I'm just a regular person. I'm small enough and insignificant enough for a lot of people to be willing to keep a secret or to believe they're participating in something while someone else was doing something else, and for no one to tell, or for it to never reach the ears of those who could actually help in a big way, like authorities or what have you. It did feel like a movie at times. There was one night where I thought, is this like some weird game show? We have all these satellite vans outside that were outside of my apartment for like the whole month of January. And there was an evening when I thought, is my dad going to come in and say, good job, kind of pat me on the back and say, good job, great show, while I was having dinner with other people? Like, I lived in a very tiny apartment, but I invited my mom. Invite is a strong word. I dragged my mom up here because I was terrorized so badly. And she was living with her sister in Florida at the time. And because no one had much money, I wouldn't have dragged my mom up anywhere. But I was so terrorized that I dragged her up. Some people came over for dinner in a tiny, tiny little apartment. And I was like, the whole time I felt like people could see, almost like the Truman Show. I felt like people could see from, say, a bar down the street, because a bunch of people filed in. And then after dinner, a bunch of people filed back down the street past my window with comments like, nobody has a heart of gold, or, well, you're going to have to pass a test, or this, that. All kinds of weird stuff. It was like a surreal, very sick movie in the very beginning. I went through the first year praying to God that this thing would end, because people kept acting crazy. There were people out here stalking, doing weird things, always finding out, how to cross paths with me while I was walking dogs, saying weird things. Like, oh, pretty big spirit for a little dog, small dog, big spirit. Now, in that case, I was actually a little bit flattered because the guy wasn't as annoying. Most people are so annoying that it's just like, hey, you want to strangle them. So, and that's putting it lightly. I do wonder if this type of activity could be amped up even worse, or if they can take control of a person just like that, whoever these terrorists are, and they are the terrorists. They are the terrorists. I'm wondering if they can snatch someone up so quickly that person turns into it turns into someone, I'm afraid to even say it. It won't happen to me, because I do think other people came in to protect me, and I pray every day for protection. But it is an issue that we have all this crazy stuff in the name of changing laws, and everybody getting upset on the senatorial floor, and all these people believing something. But I'm wondering who's behind the actions of those who we condemn for, say, shooting or all kinds of crazy stuff that happens that changes laws. Who's really the terrorists? How did somebody go postal? What happened to Columbine High? Are there people out there powerful enough on the puppet string scale to snatch somebody and boom, make a more innocent person do the bidding for the actual terrorists, or, as conspiracy theorists would say, the New World Order? Those who think they want to take over the planet, or we live in the United States, so I don't know if it's about the United States or if it's about the entire world. But pretty serious stuff. A lot of things happened along my path. I had to work hard, very hard, to keep it together. I feel like there were helping hands, like, okay, we'll get her over here. She'll take yoga. We'll have to figure out how to get her to afford yoga. Luckily, there was a lot of accessible community donation-based yoga for people who normally wouldn't have the money to go to take it in the studio at studio prices. So anyway, I will say this to wrap it up very quickly. Every single day, and I still do this, and my brain goes into this place because of PTSD and for being able to hear like 5 miles away, like, hypervigilance. I don't understand why this happened. I don't understand why it happened to me. I don't know how many other people have experienced the level at which I experienced this type of thing. I can't find them. I've looked, I don't know what it is. I don't understand it or why it happened. And my brain will keep, I feel like there are many different groups of people who might have participated in stalking or harassing someone in their own special group way. Say there are 5 different cults or gangs or religious sects or what have you, and that's SECTS. But they might not know exactly what's going on. They have their own reason for harassing. So who kicked this off? Who made me feel like I was in someone's, very scary movie, as if there are people laughing behind, like, ugh, can you imagine being humiliated at that level? And then walking out here feeling persecuted, humiliated, exploited. even having dogs that hump, will hump my leg. And if you're desperate for money, you have to take whatever job you can get in, say, the dog walking world, which was supposed to be a temporary job, and say it's so bad that a dog would actually like kind of be so heavy it would knock, wrestle you down and start humping you in the middle of Rittenhouse Square in front of people having brunch at Park Rittenhouse for a show. And there's sadistic people going, oh, I can't believe they got so and so to, I can't believe they can do that with their dog to be able to. Who gets off on watching someone being tortured? Someone out there actually gets off on watching someone being tortured, and or groups of people get off on feeling superior, or they decide Sharon should have been this, not that. Sometimes it felt like that, as if groups of people came in to take control of Sharon. Thing is, I actually wasn't bothering anyone. I actually was a very quiet person, minding her own business, thinking, oh, I'll go over here. Okay, didn't like working over at Women in Transition. That's, a very questionable place where I worked. And weird activity did start there, but I found a way out, started dog walking. I was like, I'll leave there, just go dog walking. I don't know what's going on there, but I don't want any parts of it. It's the exact opposite of what I thought it would be and what, it should be based on its mission statement. And I kind of wonder, did someone sign me up for the CIA sadistic squad to be attacked by them? Because it could feel like that. Or the suicide squad of the CIA. And maybe certain types of personalities actually get work through such a department, for lack of a better explanation. Very irritating, controlling, people who think they're superior. I think I got the mother load of a very specific personality to come in, weave themselves into my life. Anyway, that's it. Point being, I do kind of go to sleep and wake up every day thinking, I don't understand why this happened. I don't know what it is. Every once in a while, something will come along. Like the pandemic came along, I was able to stash away a whole bunch of money while living in Florida with my mom and aunt until they passed away, and I got fired from Shipt, a delivery company, for no reason. I could never get a good explanation. They just suspended my account, said I could no longer work for them ever again. Didn't make any sense because I am actually a dependable, good worker. I wondered if there wasn't enough communication. I keep wondering, like, what did I do that was that bad? Tried to reach every department at Shipt in Birmingham, Alabama. Never got an explanation. I finally just gave up. So that's what happened in gang stalking. Luckily, I have people here who are willing to pay me to walk dogs, and I don't mind doing that. It doesn't bother me that much. I do know that I'm qualified to do a lot of other things, and there is a part of me that's like, I have an MFA. I used to be a writer, this, that, and the other. That doesn't bother me as much as the idea of, I just want a normal life. I want my life back. I want to pursue normal. I'm 52. I never got to have a partner, marriage, kids, vacation, personal days, 401k, those normal things that people do. Federal holidays, like a million of those. I can't believe how many days people have off throughout the year. In the past, it would be like you had to wait a couple months. Now, every single month, there's a day that you can have off, and that's pretty good. Anyway, I do not respect. I no longer vote because of what happened. This made me lose faith in the American justice system. I prefer private people. I don't know what to say. And I'm from Delaware. So, and Biden was right there along the career. His career went along almost on a perfect timeline with sort of like a lot of people's families in Delaware, but particularly ours. There was, some people retiring the same time that a lot of career switches happened in line with his career. And sometimes I wonder, and I think he's a nice guy, but I don't like politics. I refuse to vote any longer here in the United States of America. I kind of don't, I think it's already written, because that's what was told to me. Oh, well, your life is already written. I refuse to stand in lines. I refuse to participate in something that refuses to help me and instead abuses me. I have had so many mixed messages when I try to contact the government, or they contact me saying, oh, here's a check for earned income credit. Oh, great. Then they snatch it back 2 weeks later. Oh, you're the ones who said that I qualified for this. and then they're taking it back, and I didn't make any changes. So I keep being played with by the government. I keep documenting it. But the point is, can you really call out the government to the government? Not really. They have different offices, but the government's going to be the government. So you really can't call out the government to the government, because if you keep getting the same people who are covering up for the government because they're all part of the same group, then private all the way. So anyway, that's it. Just wrapping it up. But I do not understand what happened. I don't know why I was chosen. I don't know when it ends. I deserve to be able to live a life and have an as normal a life as possible. I don't demand much. I'm pretty cheap, and I eat very well, very cheaply. What can I say? I don't ask for much, and I don't bother anyone other than now walking around with live streams, but I'm not really bothering anyone. I just sort of walk around to protect myself in case some of the same activity occurs. Okay, so thank you so much, and have a beautiful day on this day 91 of my one video each day, 365 day raising money donor campaign. Thank you.